song.
I can't sing to it because my throat is
Oh. Why don't we do Gurudev's song, his Hindi song? Let's start again. Radhe Radhe Shyam Shama Shama.
Oh, but is that my school?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty and that's rather this one is
Hari Hari. And give the mic to him. Give the mic to him. Oh. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jai Subhadikar Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinobi Hari Jiu Ki Jai Shri Radha Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Jiu Ki Jai Jai Nityalila Pravishto Vishnupad Paramahansa Statara Sata Shri Shila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishto Vishnupad Paramahansa Statara Sata Shri Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishto Vishnupad Paramahansa Statara Sata Shri Shila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishto Vishnupad Paramahansa Statara Sata Shri Shila Bhakti Pragyana Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishto Vishnupad Paramahansa Statara Sata Shri Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Mahabhagavat Srila Gaura Kishore Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Vaishnava Sarvabhaum Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Gauri Vedanta Chari Jagaladeva Jivu Sant Prabhu Ki Jai Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Shri Narottam Shri Vaishyamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shala Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Srila Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Gaura Parshada Vrinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Shri Antardvip Mayapur Simantadvip Godhamdvip Madhyadvip Koladvip Ritudvip Janadvip Modadhruvadvip Rudadvip Atmaka Shri Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Govardhan Dvadashavanatmaka Shri Braj Mandala Dham Ki Jai Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Radha Gopinath Radha Madan Mohan Jiu Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Raman Radha Damodar Jiu Ki Jai Jai Srimati Lalita Vishaka Adi Ashta Sakhi Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Rupa Manjari Rati Manjari Ananga Manjari Adi Manjari Vrinda Ki Jai Shrimati Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shrimati Purnamasi Yogamaya Devi Ki Jai Shri Gopi Swar Mahadeva Ki Jai Sarva Vishta Pradata Giraj Govardhana Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Grantaraj Shri Chaitanya Charitamritam Ki Jai Grantaraj Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat Ki Jai Aur Ananya Shakamat Samuha Shri Vishwa Vaishnava Raj Sabha Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Bhuvana Pavana Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai, Shri Bhuvana Mangala Harinama Prabhu Ki Jai, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Ki Jai, Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Nityananda Mahajanna Ki Jai, Shri Pancha Tattva Ki Jai, Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jiv Ki Jai, Purushottam Kshetra Dhama Ki Jai, Vishnu Vaishnav Raj Sabha Ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari. Braja Janamana Sukhakari Radhe Sham Shyama Shyam. Where did our singer go?
Chandrasekhar had to leave because he said that his father got sick or something.
Yeah.
So she needs to go take care of him.
She's not.
Her father got sick, and so she needs to go care for him.
Oh, okay. He was going to go with her, or he'll come back again? We don't know. We will see.
He said that he's just going to, because he's already going to be there.
Okay, well, I guess that nominates me. Because you can't sing today, you said, right? Yeah, okay. Brajajanamana Sukakari Radhe Shyam 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 Shri Radhe Brajajanamana Sukakari Radhe Shyam 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 Shri Radhe Brajajanamana Sukakari Radhe Shyam 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 Shri Radhe Brajajanamana So this beautiful song, written in the Hindi language, is written by none other than who? Who wrote this song? Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj wrote this song. And any disciple of his better know this song. Memorize it, sing it daily, if you want to get his mercy. Because he put his whole heart and soul into this song. All of his deep meditations he put into this song. Everything that we're reading about in Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 4, Adi Leela, he put into this song. Yes. So, let's hear what it means. Braja Janamana Sukhakari. Who's this talking about? Radha and Krishna. It's more specifically Radha and Shyam. And also Shyama and Shyam. Do you know what Shyama means? A lot of devotees don't understand when we sing this song, especially foreign devotees. They don't understand that we're singing about Radha when we say Shyama, because that's her name. Krishna's named Shyam, and Radha is named what? Shyama, not Shyama. Krishna is Shyam or Shyama. But what is Radha? Shyama, ma. So when we sing Radhe Shyam, 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 Shyama, Shyam, Radhe Shyam. You see? It's all Radha Krishna, not just Krishna. What does Braja Janamana Sukhakari mean? Those who understand Hindi language, like we have a couple of here. Yes. What is the meaning of Vraja Janamana Sukhakari? Come on, tell me. Okay. So who are Braja Jana?
All gopis and gopalas.
All the residents of Braj, not just gopis, gopas, cows, all the living entities, even the inanimate objects. They're all Brajvasis. But in general, The Gopas and Gopis are called Brajajana. What does mana mean? Mind. What does Sukhakari mean? Huh? Yes, gives happiness, delight, Sukhakari. Gives light, delight and happiness to Brajajana. Yeah? They give Sukhakari means they give it. Who? Radhe Shyam, Shyama, Shyam. Who? Everyone say, Radhe Shyam, Shyama, Shyam. Thank you. That's the refrain to this song. So this is the meditation, how Radha and Krishna, Radha and Shyam, how they are giving so much ecstasy and happiness to all the Brijvasis.
So here is little bit one step ahead. Body gets happiness, and our mind needs satisfaction, heart needs ananda. So here the pleasure means ananda. Pleasure not necessarily means only happiness, which is physical and mental. It's ananda, complete body, mind and soul.
Yes, of course, because that's Braj. Braj is not just body. Braj is not just mind, and Braj is not only soul. Braj is whole. There in Vrindavan, there's no difference between their body and their mind and their soul. Did you know that? Why? Because they're not in the material world. They don't have a temporary material body like ours, right? So there's a big difference between our body and our mind, our subtle body, and our Atma, our soul. Big difference in this material world, but there's no difference. Just like Krishna, Radha, all. They may talk about their heart, about their soul, and all of that in their Naravat, human-like pastimes. They talk about it, but they have transcendental bodies, everything. So now, the second verse, actually the first verse, that was the refrain. Mor Mukuta Makara Krita Kundala Galle Vaijayanti Mala. What is a mukut? Mukut is a crown. What is a Mor Mukut? Peacock crown. Yes, peacock feather crown. Makara Krita Kundala. Makara Krita Kundala. What's the meaning? The exact meaning. Kundala means what? Earrings. But what does Makara mean? What? Yes, Makara, like a fish shape, because there's a transcendental creature called Makara. Yes. And that nomenclature is used in Radha and Krishna's pastimes as they're expressing various bhavs and moods. Makara Krita Kundala. So here's describing who? Krishna. Krishna's crown is a peacock feathers. His earrings are shark-shaped. And around his neck? Yes. Gale Vaijayanti Mala. Gale means around the neck. So what is a Vaijayanti Mala? What is a Vaijayanti garland? Vaijayanti garland is specifically 5 different forest flowers. Vaijayanti is called. Mala. The flower garland. So Krishna is, all the gopis, they are making so many garlands. And they are decorating Krishna, Srimati Radhika. But Krishna, when he wears a Vaijayanti garland, that means 5 forest flowers. Yes. Gurudev used to say Beli, Chameli, Juhi, and so many other flowers. He knows all the names of all the flowers. And Charanan Nupara Rasala. Charanan means on his lotus feet. Nupar Rasala. Nupur means ankle bells, and Rasala means what? Rasala. The sound that they are making is full of rasa. All these sounds, all these sights, all these fragrances, everything, it is full of rasa. Radhe Shyam, Shyama, Shyam. Second verse. Sundara Vadana Kamala Dalalochana Bamki Chitavana Hari. Sundara Vadana. What does Sundara Vadana mean? Vadana means what? Face. Vadan. Sundara Vadana. Every night we sing in the Gaur Artik and one of the shlokas. Which one? We mentioned the word Vadana. Yes. What Gaurachande? Baho Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Ujvala. Okay, now you know. Vadana Ujvala. Faces shining radiantly like the moon, like not just one moon, Koti Chandra. Yes, millions of moons. Mahaprabhu's beautiful lotus face. So here it's telling Sundara Vadana. Sundara Vadana means his beautiful face. And Kamala Dala Lochana. Kamala Dala means lotus petal eyes. Kamala Dala Lochana. Banki Chitta Vanahari. What does Banki Chitta Vanahari mean?
Because of his
Three-side folded.
direct looking, he looks
No.
Banki means here is not straight, but it is
Yeah.
side looking.
But it's referring to his how Krishna stands
Three-side.
in his threefold bending form of Shyama Sundar, curved in three places. Yes.
And looks straight, but
No, but that's not talking about, it's talking about how he is standing. Because it's describing his face, his eyes, how he's standing. Then, in that pose that he's standing with the three curves, he's called, with what name Krishna has for three curves? Tribanga. Tribanga Lalitam. Krishna is always very beautifully standing in his curved posture. Is Srimati Radhika standing in curved posture? No. Because Krishna is crooked, but Radhika is not crooked. She's very, very simple and straight and beautiful and wonderful. Yes. And you can appeal to her. But Krishna, you have to be a little careful. He may trick. Mohana Vamshi Bihari. Mohan means what?
what attracts the mind.
Yes. But Mohana Vamshi Bihari.
With the flute, when Krishna plays the flute, the
Yes.
sound attracts each and every jivas.
Bihari means what? Vamshi Bihari. Bihar. Vihar means pastimes. Pastimes. He's frolicking. He's playing. Bihar means to play. Where? In the forest. Krishna is always playing in the forest. Mohan Vamshi Bihari. And by playing on his flute, he's attracting all. Radhe Shyam, Shyama, Shyam. Next verse. Vrindavana me denu charawe gopi jana manahari Shri Govardhana dhari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam. Vrindavana me denu charawe. Where? Where? In Vrindavan. Vrindavana me dhenu charawe. What is he doing in Vrindavan? Tending the cows. Yes. Dhenu charawe. And what else is he doing? Gopi Jana Manahari. As he's tending the cows, and playing in the forest, on the bank of the Yamuna, and all the 12 forests of Braj. What is he doing? Gopi Jana Manahari. He's completely attracting. He's completely stealing the minds. Yes, as it says here, he absconds with the minds of the cowherd girls. What does that mean? A thief takes and then runs away. Yes. So Krishna is absconding with the minds of Gopi Jana, all of the gopis. And also, Sri Govardhanadari. Yes, he also holds up Govardhan Hill. This is a very wonderful pastime. Does that mean that Krishna is very, very powerful and strong? I just was hearing Prabhupada's lecture recently, and he was explaining this in the very beginning of our movement, by the way, in 26 Second Avenue. And he's explaining that for Krishna to hold up a hill, this is nothing special. Krishna is holding up all the planets. He's holding up the planets. So is it a very big thing to hold up a hill? No, not at all. Not at all for Krishna. But why is Krishna holding up the hill? That's the important thing. Not only that he's holding up a hill and showing how powerful he is. Actually, we have a different interpretation by our Gurudev. Who was really holding up the hill? You know? Huh? Yes. Radharani. She was glancing at Govardhan with her eyes. Don't you dare fall down. Otherwise I will completely explode you into millions of pieces. Radharani can also do like that. But Krishna is holding up the hill. Why? To give Braja Janamana Sukakari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam. Yes, to give that. To give these supreme, ecstatic, loving transactions with all Brijvasis. And do you know, for 7 days and 7 nights, they completely lost track of time. They did not care or know whether it was day or night. They're completely transfixed on Krishna's beautiful form. All were completely spellbound by the beauty of Krishna. And they did not become tired at looking at Krishna's beauty. Why? Because Krishna is Nava Yamana. Always new, always fresh. Never becomes old. Never. This is Braj. So Krishna is known as Govardhanadhari because he held up Govardhan Hill. But he also accomplished so many other things. What did he accomplish? One little side thing that he accomplished. He completely crushed the pride of the king of the heavenly planets, Indra, who thought that he was very powerful. And Prabhupada told that Krishna was giving a signal to Indra. Oh, you think you are so powerful? Well, let me tell you something, Indra. Dealing with you is the business of my little finger. Yeah? You heard that before? Yes. Usually little finger is not so strong, right? What can we do with our little finger? Not much. But Krishna demonstrated with his little finger that to deal with you, Indra, is like not even my little finger. It doesn't even give any work or labor to my little finger. But Mother Yashoda, she was not so happy that Krishna was working so hard. He was laboring, holding up the hill. She was always there, and she's massaging Krishna's arm. He's holding up the hill. She's taking sandesh and all different beautiful sweets and feeding Krishna. And then she tells Sri Ram, you hold up the hill for a while. Let Krishna rest, okay? And also all the cowherd men, they were using their cowherding sticks. You can see on the paintings. They're also helping. Radhe Shyam Shama Shyam. So, Now Gurudev changes the subject. Radha Krishna mili abdao gaura rupa avatari. What is Radha Krishna mili abdao? Yes, they have now combined together. They have united together. In what? Gaura Rupa Avatari. The transcendental incarnation, avatar, of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Gaura, golden color. Yes, Radha and Krishna have now combined together. And what are they doing in this combined together combination? Kirtana Dharma Prachari Radhe Shyam Shyam Shyam. What are they doing? They're preaching the Dharma of what? Kirtan Dharma. Glorification of Krishna. Hari Kirtan. That's why whenever we have our gatherings, at the end we say Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. And why are we saying Hari Bol? Because they are teaching everyone to chant Hari, chant the name of Hari. So, yes, our arms go up, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari. And then finally Gurudev, he speaks about his own internal mood. Tum vina mere aur na koi nama rupaya avatari. Now not only have they come in a golden form, Kirtana Dharma Prachari, but now Gurudev is saying, Tum vina mere aur na koi. Without you, Radha and Krishna, Radhe Shyam, I have nothing. Without you, I have nothing. I have no other than you. Then he says, Nama Rupa Avatari, you incarnate. You, both of you, Radha and Krishna, have incarnated in what? The divine holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then he said, Charanon me Balihari, Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam. What does Balihari mean?
Forcefully subdue.
Huh?
To subdue someone by force.
No.
Balihari.
No.
Snatch by force.
No. Balihari. Narottam Das Thakur also uses this term, Balihari, when you want to give some appreciation. Oh, you've very good, you've done very good. That's called Balihari. So here he says, Sharanon me Balihari. But now in this example, Sharanon me Balihari means your lotus feet. Radha and Krishna, no. Balihari means they completely enrapture my heart. Balihari. I become completely absorbed and I'm tasting so much nectar in your lotus feet. Then he mentions his own name as the author of this song. Narayana Balihari Radhe Shyam Shyam Shyam. Then he says, this Narayan is delighting always in the two lotus feet of Radhe Shyam Shyam Shyam. So is that a nice song? Nice meditation? Yes? You should try to sing this song. We are in the line of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And he has written this song. So we should try to sing this song on a regular basis. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bhangam Langayati Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatam Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahabadandaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tishe Namaha. Nityanandam Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalo Kalmashanashaya Janavapataye Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Bhaktya Vihina Aparadha Lakshay Kiptascha Kamali Taranga Madhye Kripamai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanaravinda Vrindai Tulsi Devyai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha. All together, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev, Nitya Leela Pravishta, Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtatara Shata, Shri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Leela Pravishta, Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Ashtatara Shata Shri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhara Goswami Maharaj, and Nitya Leela Pravishta, Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Ashtatara Shata Shri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I offer my Dandavat Pranams at the lotus feet of all of my Shri Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga and my Siksha Guru Varga. And I offer my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavas. So I read ahead on my own last night, so let's backtrack here a little bit. Alright, so we're reading about the reciprocation between Lord Shri Krishna and the devotees, and how there is a competition between their beauty and their joy when they see Krishna, and what happens when they see Krishna. So, Gopika darshane Krishner bade prafullata se madhurya bade jar nahika sammata. When Lord Shri Krishna sees the gopis, his joy increases. And what happens as a result of that? Krishna's joy increasing. This is verse 190. Krishna's joy increases. And what does that also cause to happen? Upon Krishna seeing the beautiful gopis, his joy increases. And then what happens? His unparalleled sweetness also increases. You see? Do we see that in the material world? Only some very, very obscure, perverted reflection of that. But in actuality, Krishna's sweetness, which is unlimited, increases when he sees the gopis. Why? Because he becomes so happy. Yes. Yeah. And his sweetness is called Nahika Samata. Se madhurya bade. His madhurya increases, his sweetness increases. And there is no limit at all. It is unparalleled, Krishna's sweetness. So then the gopis, what? The verse is 190, 190, but now 191. I'm going to the next verse, 191. So then the gopis are thinking, Amar darshane Krishna pailo eta sukha. They think, oh, Krishna has obtained so much pleasure by seeing me. Each gopi is thinking like this, that Krishna has obtained so much happiness and pleasure by seeing me. And then what happens as a result of their mood of seeing that Krishna is enjoying? What happens to the gopis when they see that as a result of seeing them, Krishna is enjoying so much, he gets so much pleasure? Then by thinking this, what happens? Just the very thought increases the fullness and the beauty of their faces and their bodies. You think it cannot increase? Then go back to the material world. We're now going to the spiritual world in our readings here. This is only the spiritual world. Nothing is limited in the spiritual world. Nothing is limited. Everything is unlimited. So the gopis, when they see that Krishna has enjoyed their beauty, it increases their beauty of their faces and their bodies, and everything increases. Gopi Shobha Deki Krishna Shobha Bade Jata. Krishna Shobha Deki Gopir Shobha Bade Tata. The beauty of Lord Krishna increases at the sight of the beauty of the gopis. And the more the gopis see Lord Krishna's beauty, the more their beauty increases. And in this way, a competition takes place between them in which no one acknowledges defeat. No defeat. Oh, Krishna defeated us. His beauty just increased more. No, because their beauty increases more. You see. Kintu Krishna sukha hoy gopi rupa gune thare sukhe sukha vriddhi hoy gopi gane. Now, Krishna, however, derives pleasure from the beauty and the good qualities of the gopis. And when the gopis see his pleasure, the joy of the gopis increases. Therefore, why is he telling all this? Why is Kaviraj Goswami telling all this? Because he's trying to make the point that there is no selfish interest at all in the gopis. Nothing, not one speck of selfish interest. So therefore, he says, Atayeva se sukha, Krishna sukha poshe. Therefore we find that the joy of the gopis nourishes the joy of Lord Krishna. And for that reason, the fault of lust is not present in their love. For what reason? This is now giving you the final equation. Because he's been saying this again and again and again for the last 30, 40 shlokas. That there is no selfish interest at all in the gopis. Not like in the material world. It's completely pure. So, therefore we find that the joy of the gopis nourishes the joy of Lord Krishna. And for that reason, for what reason? The joy of the gopis nourishes Lord Krishna's joy. For that reason, the fault of lust is not present in their love. So Prabhupada explains this in a very short purport. He says, by looking at the beautiful gopis, Krishna becomes very enlivened. And this enlivens the gopis. Not like in the material world. When the boy sees girl in the material world and girl sees boy, they become enlivened by thinking, I'm going to enjoy my senses. Yes, I'm going to exploit this person for my sense gratification. It's full of lust, and lust is like iron, but love, brain, is like gold. So, by looking at the beautiful gopis, Krishna becomes enlivened, and this enlivens the gopis, whose youthful faces and whose bodies blossom like a flower. Just like a flower. When a flower is blossoming. This is happening in the spiritual world to their bodies, their faces, everything. You see? It is inconceivable to us how beautiful that can be. So this competition of the increasing beauty between the gopis and Krishna, which is without limitations, it is so delicate. It is so delicate that sometimes mundane moralists, they mistake these dealings to be purely amorous. What does that mean? Amour is a word, it's a French word. But amorous means love between man and woman. Amorous. So they think like that. These mundane moralists, they hear about this and they think that these dealings are purely lust. That's what they think. But these affairs are not at all mundane. Because the gopis' intense desire to satisfy Krishna, it surcharges the entire scene with pure love of Godhead. That's called prema. The whole scene becomes surcharged with pure love of Godhead, with not a spot of sexual indulgence. Not a spot. It looks like that to ordinary, mundane, materialistic person, but it is not. Not at all. Not a spot. Not a speck. So, now Kaviraj Goswami is quoting a beautiful shloka written by Rupa Goswami, included in his Keshava Ashtakam. It's included in his Stavamala compilation. So, he's describing in this verse how when Krishna returns from the forest of Braja at the end of the day, then he is worshipped by the gopis. How is he worshipped by the gopis? We will now hear about that. Upetya pati sundari tatibir abir abhyarchikam smitankura karambitayar natad apanga bangi shatai stanastavaka sancharan nayana chanchari kanchalam braje vijayanam baje vipinate shata keshavam. I worship Lord Keshava. Coming back from the forest of Braja. He comes back every day. Did you know that? Did you know that Krishna goes into the forest in the early part of the day? He stays in the forest the entire day. And in the middle of the day, in Madhyan Lila, the days are divided, day and night is divided into Ashtakal, 8 different time divisions. And in the middle of the day, that's in the noon time, so there are approximately 4 hours called Madhyan Lila. And at that time, Krishna always meets in the most hidden, secret place that no one else can come there. No one can dare come there. Yeah? It is off limits. There's so much radar, and there's so many barbed wire fences, and no one can come there to Radhakund except who? The gopis. Or the Priya Narmasakas. They can also, 1 or 2 can go with Krishna, but they cannot come directly into the Radhakund area. They have to stay outside, and they have their own kunjas. Did you know that? 8 different sakas, Priya Narmasakas, have 8 different kunjas surrounding the Radhakunda. This is all described by the same author, who? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who has written this Chaitanya Charitamrita. He also wrote Govinda Lilamrita, where in all extensive detail, the 8 time periods of the day, all of the pastimes and leelas of Radha and Govinda are described there. So, when he's saying here, I worship Lord Keshava, when he's coming back from the forest of Braja at night, after performing all of his pastimes, not night, late afternoon, he's coming back. And even the cows, this is the time when the cows also come home. You know, we have a saying like that in English, till the cows come home. That means for a long time. He does such and such till the cows come home. So, yes, in the spiritual world, cows are coming home every day with Krishna, and there's billions of cows. Not millions, billions. So, what happens? When Krishna is coming back from the forest of Braja, he is worshipped by the gopis. But what do they do? You think that the gopis are coming with an artik tray and they're running up to Krishna and performing artik? No. Or their chamara or anything like that? No. How are they worshipping him? They go up on top of the roofs of their palaces, the gopis do. And they look down from their roofs and they see Krishna coming from a distance. And then they meet him on the path, but they don't physically go down to the pathway. Why? Because that's not acceptable in Braj Leela. Right? It's all hidden. But they meet him. How do they meet him on the path? With 100 manners of dancing glances. Dancing glances. Yes. And also very beautiful, gentle smiles. And where are Krishna's eyes looking? Oh, looking here, looking there, looking everywhere. Krishna's eyes are glancing also. This is how the gopis worship Krishna, with their glances, with their smiles. And then, now he's describing how Krishna is reciprocating with the gopis. The corners of his eyes wander like large black bees around the gopis' breasts. Krishna is very attracted to the gopis. So, why is he quoting this? He's quoting this because this reciprocation of the joy that the gopis have nourishes Krishna, and vice versa. And for that reason, there is no lust, only pure, spotless love. So after quoting this verse, now he says, in verse 197, he says, there is another natural symptom of the gopis' love that shows it to be without a trace of lust. There's another Ar ek gopi premer swabhavika chinna. Chinna means symptom. Swabhavika means gopi premer swabhavika. It means their natural love of the gopis. There's another symptom, natural symptom, that also demonstrates that their love is without even the slightest trace of lust. So what is that? Yes. Not even kam gandahin. Kam ganda means not even a tiny little scent of kam, of material lust. No, it is completely free from that. So now he's explaining this other symptom. Gopi preme kore Krishna madhuryara pushti. Madhurye badhai prem hoya mahatushti. So, gopi preme kore Krishna madhuryara pushti. Pushti means to nourish. So, the love of the gopis, the gopi prem, it nourishes what? Krishna madhuryara, Krishna sweetness. It nourishes Krishna's sweetness. The love, the prem of the gopis nourishes Krishna's sweetness, and then that sweetness, madhurye badhai prem hon mahatushti, that sweetness in turn increases their love, and then what happens as a result? Mahatushti. They become so satisfied. You see. Priti vishayanande tad ashrayananda taha na nahi nijasukha vanchara sambandha. The happiness of the abode of love. What does that mean? Vishai anande and ashray ananda. Vishai, ashray. We've heard this many, many times now. So the ashray means who? That means the abode, the ashray means the devotee. It means, ultimately it means the gopis, and Srimati Radhika in the highest regard. She is the ashraya vigraha. You see? But Krishna is the vishaya vigraha. Vishaya means he's the object of the gopis' love. So, here's the formula. The happiness of the abode of love, who's that? The gopis, is in the happiness of the object of that love. Their happiness is only in his happiness, that's all. Is not outside of that at all. Because why? Taha nahi nija sukha vanchara sambandha. This is not a relationship of a desire for what? Nija sukha vancha. Their own happiness, their personal sense gratification. It is not like that at all. So here, Prabhupada uses an interesting term. What is the style? He uses the word style of unselfish love. Nirupadi prem jaha taha e riti. This word riti is being translated as style. But do you know the word braj riti? What's the meaning in general way? Braj riti.
Customs.
No.
Rituals, habitual rituals.
It means Braj culture, the culture, the dealings in Braj riti. So, but here, Prabhupada is using the word style. Nirupadi prem jaha taha e riti. Whenever there is nirupadi prem, nirupadi means it is completely free from any other motivation. Nirupadi prem jaha. Whenever there is this unselfish love, then that is its style. What is its style? That the reservoir of the love, that means ashraya, derives pleasure. That means the ashraya means the gopis, Srimati Radhika. When the reservoir of love derives pleasure, when the lovable object is pleased, lovable object is Krishna, he's the Vishaya. So the style of the unselfish love of the gopis, Prajriti or Ariti, is that when the reservoir of love derives pleasure, when the lovable object is pleased. Lovable object is Krishna. The gopis only derive pleasure when Krishna is pleased. So when the pleasure of love, Nija Premanande Krishna Sevananda Bade, when the pleasure of love interferes with the service of Lord Krishna, then the devotee becomes angry towards that ecstasy. Understand? No, you don't understand. Everybody's looking for happiness. Right? Every living entity is looking for happiness. Every jivatma, but also every form of Krishna, every expansion of Krishna, Krishna's Shakti, every living entity. They're all looking for happiness. Yes. And they like the experience of happiness. That's why people jump up and down and they dance. And there are so many symptoms when a person becomes happy. You know? You always see this in the material world. When someone they win $1 million, they start dancing and screaming, right? And so, but in praying, the gopis, when they are trying to serve Krishna, and the ecstasy of their praying begins to interfere with their service, the ecstasy that they're feeling of their praying, now they become angry toward that ecstasy. Can you imagine? Yes, which we'll explain. So Prabhupada is showing us very clearly what this verse means. He's saying, as mentioned above, the gopis are the predominated lovers. Predominated. And Sri Krishna is the predominator. What does it mean to dominate over something? To dominate. In the material world, all the competition that's going on is with this motivation, to dominate over your rival. All sports, all business dealings, all political, everything. Domination, domination. I want to be in the upper position and everyone will be below me. That's called domination. But guess what? In the entire creation of all existence, spiritual, material, everywhere, there's one supreme dominator. And that's Krishna. Ekala Ishwar Krishna Arsam Pritya. There's only one supreme Ishwara who is the predominator over everyone. That is Krishna. And all others, Arsam Britya. Britya means servant. Everyone else is predominated. You see? So that's why Mayavadism is such an ugly, hideous, horrible conception for the jiva. If the jiva becomes infected by this impersonalistic ideology, that God has no form, that His form is material. Why? Because Krishna is the supreme, eternal dominator, and the jiva is dominated. Prabhupada often quotes the verse, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam Eko Yo Bahunam Vidadati Kamam. What's the relationship between all the plural number nityas? That's called Nityanam. So Nityo Nityanam. There is one supreme eternal, and there are many, many other subordinate eternals. Nityo Nityanam. Chaitanas Chaitananam. Chaitana means conscious. There is one supreme conscious being, and Chaitananam means there are innumerable, plural number conscious beings. So this is the eternal reality. One supreme, many other subordinate. One supreme conscious being, many other subordinate conscious beings. But what's the relationship between them? This is a verse from the Upanishads. I forget which one exactly. Nityo Nityanam, Chaitanas Chaitananam. So, Eko yo bahunam vidadati kama. What's the relationship between the many and the one? Eko yo bahunam vidadati kama. The one is providing for all the others, not the vice versa. No. No one provides for him. But he is providing all the necessities, fulfilling all the desires of the many. So, but in praying, in the world of rasa, vraj ras, prem ras, there is a reversal sometimes because of love. And who becomes the predominator? Srimati Radhika, gopis. And Krishna very humbly and simplicity has to beg at their lotus feet. This is the beauty of prem ras. So, but the point that is being made here is that what normally everyone wants to attain prem. Everyone wants to attain prem ananda. We say that every single day, many times a day, usually. Gaur prem anande. What? Because the ananda of prem is what Mahaprabhu has come to give. But when you enter into that world of prem, of Krishna prem, Braj prem, then you will realize one thing, that prem and that ecstatic experience that is coming, sometimes it may interfere with the service, with your service to Krishna. And then you say, go away, go away, go away. So here Prabhupada is telling the gopis, the love of the predominated, that means the gopis, nourishes the love of the predominator. It nourishes his love. Their love nourishes his love. The gopis had no desire for selfish enjoyment. Their feeling of happiness was indirect. Their feeling of happiness is indirect. How is that? Because it is dependent on the pleasure of Krishna. If Krishna is not happy, they don't. Their happiness is only derived from the pleasure of Krishna. That's all. It's completely selfless. Causeless love of Godhead is always so. It is always like this. Causeless love of God, it is always so. Such pure love is possible only when the predominated is made happy by the happiness of the predominator. Then that love is possible. Otherwise, it's never possible. Otherwise, there will be so much selfish interest. But no. That love is possible only when the predominated is made happy by the happiness of the predominator. We've heard this now in numerous ways. How this is being explained. We have to get it through our thick skull. Good term in English. Thick skull. You can't understand something. Again and again and again hearing. But you can't understand it. So, no. We can understand it if we are in the mood of service to Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas, in a submissive mood. Then these truths can enter our heart. Otherwise not. So finally he says, such unadulterated love is exemplified when the lover deprecates her happiness if it hinders her from discharging her service. Who's the her here? Radharani. Now he's quoting the verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Oh no, first there's two verses. The verse is after. First, there's the verse which is describing Daruka. You know who Daruka is? Who is Daruka? Yeah, chariot driver of Krishna, Daruk. So, Daruka doesn't only drive the chariot, but he's a servant of Krishna. And sometimes he's fanning Krishna, doing that seva. But sometimes his ecstatic feelings become so overwhelming. And they cause his limbs to become stunned. And then it obstructs his service of fanning Krishna because his limbs are stunned by the ecstasy. So he does not like this, to feel this ecstasy. You understand? Anga stam ambaram utungayantam premanandam daruko nabhyanandat kamsarater vijane yena sakshat akshodiyan antarayo vyadayi. Sri Daruka did not relish his ecstatic feelings of love, for they caused his limbs to become stunned, and thus they obstructed his service of fanning Lord Krishna. And now here's another verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also. And this is talking about Srimati Radhika. Govinda Prekshana Kshepi. Govinda Prekshana Kshepi Bashpa Pura Vivarshanam Uchchair Aninda Anandam Aravinda Vilochana. Aravinda Vilochana means lotus-eyed. Who is that referring to? Radharani. The lotus-eyed Radharani powerfully condemned the ecstatic love that caused a flow of tears. Because that's one of the symptoms, yes? Tears flowing like rivers. But she condemned these symptoms of ecstatic love and tears flowing. Why? Because they hindered her sight of Govinda. Because Govinda became covered by the tears. She could not see. So she became very condemning to these ecstatic loving tears. Then, text 204, Ar Shuddha Bhakta Krishna Prem Seva Vinani Swasukarta Savokyadi Nakvare Brahmani. Furthermore, those who are pure devotees of Krishna, not mixed devotees, pure devotees, what is one symptom of theirs? They never forsake the loving service of Lord Krishna in order to aspire for their own personal pleasure through what? The 5 kinds of mukti, liberation. Never. Never. Prabhupada is telling here that a pure devotee of Krishna who loves him exclusively, he will flatly refuse to accept any sort of liberation. Beginning from merging with the body of the Lord and extending to the other varieties of liberation, such as equality of form, opulence, or abode, and the opulence of living near to the Lord. So what are the names of these opulences? These are the 5 opulences of liberation. So, they receive the benediction, the pure devotees, always. These 5 types of liberation are trying to come to them. Here Prabhupada is mentioning the first one, Kaivalya. Kaivalya means merging with the existence of the Lord. Merging. And losing your personal existence. The pure devotees will never ever accept that. Even if it's forcefully given to them, they will reject it. Why? Because then you cannot have a brain. You have to have a form. You have to be separate. This idea of merging into the existence of the Supreme, it is completely devoid of actual prema. So therefore, premi bhaktas will never accept that. The other 4 types of liberation, they can accept only if Krishna desires that they should, but they have no separate interest or no separate desire for them. They don't desire, I'm going to serve Krishna so that I can get a body that is identical to Krishna in the spiritual world. That's called, what's the word? Rupa mukti, I forget the term. Rupa, having the same form as the Lord. What? Yes, Swarupya. Okay, yes, Swarupya. Then Salokya means to live on the same planet where Krishna is. Then Samipya means to be very close, very near to Krishna. Not that you're 100 miles away. No, you're with Krishna. And Sarsti. Sarsti means the opulence of having the same opulences as the Lord. Yeah? Because, for example, in Vaikuntha, everyone has 4 arms. They have all these 4 opulences. They live near to Lord Narayan. They have his personal association. They live on the same planet. They also have his same opulences. And in Braj, the Brijvasis have these opulences in the form of human-like pastimes. 2 arms, worshipping Krishna with 2 arms. Shyama Sundar form. But what are their opulences? Unlimited opulence of prema is there. And they can do anything. Actually, they can do anything. Even they can expand themselves into millions of forms. Did you know that? Yeah. The eternal associates of Krishna, they're just like Krishna. They can expand into millions of forms. Why? So that they can accompany Krishna when he comes to the material universes. Yes. And they also serve in his pastimes. So, the verse that is being quoted is from Lord Kapila Dev. There's actually 3 verses being quoted. I'll read the last one first. Salokya Sharsti Sarupya Samipya Katvam Apyuta Diyamanam Nagrimnanti Vina Matsevanam Jana. My devotees, Kapila Dev is saying, my devotees do not accept Salokya, Sarsti, Sarupya, or Samipya, or they don't also accept oneness with me. Even if I offer these liberations, they will not accept in preference to serving me. They prefer to serve Krishna. Yes, and then Madguna Shruti Matrena Mai Sarva Guhashaye Manogatir Avichinna Yata Gangam Vasom Budho. Just as the celestial waters of the Ganges flow unobstructed into the ocean, so when my devotees simply hear of me, their minds come to me, who reside in the hearts of all. So, just by hearing about Krishna, what happens? The minds of the pure devotees, because Krishna is residing in everyone's heart, so their minds, they become completely attracted and forcibly drawn, just as the Ganga flows to the ocean. Their minds flows towards Krishna. Lakshanam bhakti yogasya nirgunasya hudahritam ahoitya avyavahita Ya Bhakti Purushottame. These are the characteristics of transcendental loving service to Purushottam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What are they? Ahoituki Avyavahita. Causeless. Their loving devotion is causeless and cannot be obstructed in any way ever. So in this way, he quotes one more verse from the 9th canto of Bhagavatam in connection with the characteristics of Maharaj Ambarish. Krishna is telling, Mat sevaya pratitam te salopyadi chatushdayam nechanti sevaya purna puto nyat kala viplutam. My devotees, having fulfilled their desires by serving me, they do not accept the 4 kinds of salvation that are easily earned by such service. Easily earned. They don't accept. So why then should they accept any pleasures that are lost in the course of time? Understand? They're not going to accept even pleasures that are eternal in exchange for serving. No. They want only service. They don't want their own personal happiness. Because all of these 4 types of liberation are eternal. You have an eternal spiritual form. You eternally are on the planet of Krishna, like that. So, if they won't even accept that, then what to speak of pleasures that are lost in the course of time? That means every single pleasure that you can ever even dream of experiencing in this material world, guess what? They're all lost in the course of time. Sooner or later. And guess what? In this Kali Yuga, it's sooner, very sooner, very soon, completely soon, and the ultimate, the next single moment even, your pleasure is gone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye pleasure. That's the nature of the material world. So pure devotees, they only want to serve. They derive their pleasure and happiness from serving. Yes. So Prabhupada is saying that merging into the existence of the Absolute is as temporary as living in the celestial kingdom. What is the celestial kingdom? Swarga. Yeah. Heavenly planets. That is celestial. But is that eternal? Is that permanent? Can any demigod in the heavenly planets stay there? Even if they're there for millions of years? Even if they're there for billions of years? Can even Lord Brahma, who lives for 311 trillion years, can he remain in that position? No. Temporary. What to speak of a tiny little insect who is existing for only a few minutes? A little insect. Everything is temporary. Everything is temporary in the material world. There's a wonderful verse, I'm just remembering it now, from Prabodhananda Saraswati. Prabhupada quotes this verse quite often, actually. He's talking about how someone, when they get the merciful sidelong glance of Gaura, what happens? What happens to that devotee? Kaivalya narakayate. Kaivalya, that means merging our existence into the existence of the Lord, and losing our individuality, becoming merged. You know what the pure devotee thinks, who has received the merciful sidelong glance of Gauranga, Mahaprabhu? Naraka. Narak means hell. Narak. Kaivalya narakayate. What the impersonalists are striving to achieve and doing so many austerities to merge into the existence, the pure devotee of Krishna sees that as going to hell.
Tridashapur akasha pushpayate. Tridashapur means what? In the material world, we have the three worlds. What are the three worlds? Upper planetary systems, middle planetary systems, lower planetary systems. So, what does the pure devotee of Krishna see? Does he see that there's anything to be gained there? By going to any of these planets? He says, Akasha Pushpayate. Do you know what an Akasha Pushpa is? Pushpa means flower and Akash means the sky. Now, Akasha Pushpa is a poetical term which doesn't really mean anything. It's just an imaginary thing. Sky flowers. Flowers in the sky. Do flowers grow in the sky? I don't know if you've ever seen, but I've never seen flowers growing in the sky. They always grow in the earth, yes? So Akasha Pushpa is a term which means imaginary. It's just your imagination. It's like will-o'-the-wisp. Will-o'-the-wisp. Just your imagination. So the pure devotee who received the sidelong glance of Gaura, he thinks that all Tridashapur, being anywhere within this universe, is and aspiring for that happiness to be there, is simply Akasha Pushpa. Imaginary. Tridashapur Akasha Pushpayate. Durdan Tendriya Kala Sarpa Patali Protkata Damstrayate. Durdan Tendriya means your indriyas, your senses, which are very dur, means very difficult to control. But the yogis are striving to control their senses, their mind, so much endeavor. Durdan Tendriya, to control these senses, which are like snakes, trying to bite. Durdan Tendriya Kala Sarpa. Kala Sarpa means black snake. But for a pure devotee of Krishna, of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, is it difficult to control the senses? No. It is just like, there is no danger if a very poisonous serpent has had its fangs removed. Can it do anything to you? No, nothing. You can bring his mouth, he can bite on your hand, all he wants, it will do nothing. So Prodkata Damstrayate means that he's had a dental removal. Okay, Durdam Tendri Kala Sarpapatali, Prodkata Damstrayate, and then finally, Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate. Vidi Mahendra Dishchakitayate. Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate. That means he sees the whole universe, the whole Vishwa. Because of what? Because he's received the merciful sidelong glance of Gaura. Now his perception of the universe, it is filled with what? Sukha. See, ultimate happiness, every direction that he looks, because of pure devotion. And then, how does he see the very big, huge, gigantic VIPs in this universe? Like who? Vidi Mahendra Adis. Vidi means who? Brahma. Mahendra means who? Shiva. Adish means who else? That means Indra and then all of the other demigods. What does he see their big, huge position, their very aristocratic position in the universe? What does he see it as? Vidi Mahendra Dishchakitayate. You know what a kita is? Insect. He sees that their position is nothing greater than a tiny little insect crawling on the ground. Huh? Why? Vidi Mahendra Dishchakitayate. Forgetting the last line. Vidi Mahendra Dishchakitayate. Yet, Kataksha Vaibhavatam Tam Eva Gaurastuma. Yes. Kripa Kataksha. Here's the word. Karunya Kataksha. Yat Karunya Kataksha Vaibhavatam Tam Eva Gaurastuma. Tam Eva Gaurastuma. I offer my prayers to that Gaura, to that Lord Chaitanya, golden colored Lord Chaitanya, because his Karunya Kataksha, his merciful sidelong glance, awards this to his pure devotees. So become a pure devotee of Lord Gauranga. There's no other greater achievement in this universe. Become a pure devotee of Lord Gauranga. In this Danya Kali Yuga, become a pure devotee of Lord Gauranga. Give up everything else, all of your other endeavors, all of your other achievements that you're trying to gain in this material world, and become a pure devotee and surrender to Lord Gauranga, and you'll achieve inconceivable opulence, victory, like in the end of Bhagavad Gita. What is the statement there by Sanjaya? The last shloka? My opinion is that wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna, there will certainly be what? 4 things will certainly be there. Wherever Krishna is there and the supreme archer, Arjuna, is there, then there will be 4 things that are always there. What are they? Victory, opulence, extraordinary power, and morality. Victory, opulence, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. That's the end, the final shloka of Bhagavad Gita. So if we have some intelligence, intelligence is not proven by academic qualifications. Do you know what intelligence is proven by? It's proven by understanding the truth of all existence. That this material world is a temporary place, full of what? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Darshana. Full of what? Rebirth, death, birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. Jara, old age, no one can avoid. Doesn't matter how many creams and lotions and how many internal, natural therapies that you're taking, your old age is going to come and embrace you. Gurudev used to say that. I saw him tell this to many, many times. One time in Malaysia, he was telling to this very pretty young lady who was the secretary of one of the male devotees in his company, and he came to introduce. And then Gurudev said, very nice to meet you. You know one thing. This nice young body that you have now, you know that one day your hair will turn gray and fall out. Your skin will become wrinkled. Your teeth will also loosen and fall out. And old age will come and embrace you. Old age. Personified old age. And you will also have to embrace her. You have no choice. So then he preached to her and told her, always be a devotee of Krishna. Don't waste your human form of life on chasing after anything. Material opulence, money, material pleasures, any of these things. Don't chase. What should we do? We should do simple living and high thinking. What is the highest thinking? The highest thinking is about Krishna. This is the highest thinking. Param Tattva Dhimahi. To think about the supreme absolute truth. Krishna. Param Tattva. This is the highest intelligence. And those who have realized this, they are the highest personalities in the universe. So, Hare Krishna. I wanted to stress that point. Because we should not become illusioned. We should go on the pathway of absolute truth, not temporary truths. Absolute truth. That is the only valuable thing. Everything else will fade in time. So, Pancha Kalpatarupascha Kripa Sandhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachaya Namo Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. This one I think is Krishna's garland. This is so long. Yeah? It must be Krishna's. Yeah. He always has the longest one. Wow. Yeah.